And welcome one more time. This video is talking about trig equations, but that involves quadratics. The previous video I made was also trig equations. That was the first video for trig equation lesson. Did not involve quadratics. And when we say quadratics, if you notice, we have squares involved here. The previous one did not. So here's how we want to tackle this. The first thing you want to do is to make it easier on you is to replace sine theta with x. So it starts looking like quadratics. Plus 1 equals 0. And if you'll notice, the right equation is very much like quadratics. So you need your quadratic skills to be able to factor it out and find the value of x. Let's get going. A times c, to be able to factor it out, we have to use the x method. A times c, which is 2. Negative 3 is the b value. Let's find some numbers. Negative 2, negative 1. Negative 2 times negative 1 multiply to 2 and add up to negative 3. So these are two factors, but watch out. We do have an a value here. So this is the factoring method I taught in class involved this method. For my students watching this, you'll be familiar with what I'm about to do. If you're someone watching from outside of somewhere else, this may be a new method, but trust me, it's an awesome way to factor out. Anyway, when there's an a value other than 1, you want to divide both of these numbers by that a value, simplify what you can, and what cannot be simplified, which is negative 1/2, the factor to this starts off by adding x in the denominator and then going towards the top value, minus 1, which means the first factor is x minus 1, and the second factor will be 2x minus 1 equals 0. And we have factored it out successfully. From here, we're looking at either x minus 1 equals 0 or 2x minus 1 equals 0. Obviously, x equals 1 here. And obviously, x equals half here. You'll add 1 and divide by 2. But obviously, this was not algebra, because algebraically, this equation would have finished. However, it's time to bring back our substitute for x. The original value of x was sine theta. And sine theta equals half. So now we're trying to find the theta values where sine equals 1 and sine equals half. Now sine equals 1 is one of the quadrantals. Also notice this question has restrictions to theta, which is a good thing. So theta is 1, if you recall this, 1 comma 0, 0 comma 1, negative 1, 0, and 0, negative 1. So the angle where sine equals 1 is this one. That angle is pi over 2. So from our first set of equation, we have concluded that theta must equal pi over 2. Now, no one has really restricted us to, actually there is a restriction, duh, I just said that. There's a restriction, we gotta stay between 2 pi. Because obviously after another rotation back at the same spot, we could add another 2 pi to it, but clearly we will go beyond our domain restriction. So that's the only theta value that works from the first set. From here, sine theta equals half. Honestly, at this point, by this point of time, if you really have some of these basic ones memorized, life will go really easy. 30 degrees, which is pi over 6. This would be 60 pi over 3, and that's pi over 4. Like, I have it sine memorized here, which automatically makes cosine here. Then for the 60 degrees, they swap their values. And for 45, it's root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. So this really, really helps us speed up the process without having to construct triangle. So sine is clearly half at pi over 6. That's one of them. But then sine is positive in the first and the second quadrant. So the reflection of pi over 6 would be somewhere here. And we're looking for this triangle. Now we're going up this angle. Now we're going up in a sixth, which means this is also a sixth, which means the leftover would be 5 pi over 6. So that would be the other angle. That will satisfy sine value of half. Again, this will keep rotating, which means after another rotation, add 2 pi to it like we've been doing previously, but then clearly we will be out of our given range. So we got one answer from there, 2 answers from the other set, which means our total answer set is 3 answers. I'm going to put my answers in increasing order. And we are done with this question. We have found all the solutions that will satisfy the given equation.